Breaking news as the protest at MOWAA during the preview and contemporary art most likely to cause international sanction. Watch this video as we come back and talk more.
I am Princess Mrs. Ikwayeme Ewai Amiwo. I am the eldest daughter to my father, the Oba of Benin. Deeply grateful for this very historic opportunity to deliver my father's speech. I thank the Edo State Governor, His Excellency, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for his unflinching support and for restoring the Oba Kenzwa II Cultural Center to the palace, which will now be converted to the Benin Royal Museum.
That is the first daughter of the Oba of Benin reading the speech of the Omonoba Nedu Uku Apolopolo Oba Ewari II, Oba Okpebholo, during the handing over of the 119th returned artifact from the Netherlands. Thanking and appreciating the Governor of Edo State, Distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, for his love and support and restoring Oba Akezwa Cultural Center to be converted into the Benin Royal Museum. I was hoping in the capacity of Okpebholo as the Governor of Edo State that he would have built the Benin Royal Museum instead of converting Oba Akezwa Cultural Center into the Benin Royal Museum, compared to former Governor Obaseki, who promised to build the Benin Royal Museum and ended up building MOWAA. The building of the Benin Royal Museum was a vision that was conceived by the past Oba, from Oba Akezwa II down to Oba Eri Diawa, and now to the current Oba of Benin, Omonoba Neduku Apolopolo Oba Ewari II, Oba Okpebholo. A vision that I believe was conceived in a very strong conviction, which must surely be bettered in Edo State. It will tarry, but it will come to pass. Now, my question is to distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo and majority of Edo people. Why didn't Okpebholo build the Benin Royal Museum instead of converting Oba Akezwa Cultural Center as previously proposed into the Benin Royal Museum? And why didn't Okpebholo, in his capacity as the Governor of Edo State, before now, interface with the international donor to ascertain the legal status of the MOWAA Museum that is now currently proposed to be renamed to the Benin Royal Museum? And why didn't Okpebholo spearhead the committee he now set up to look into the legal status of the MOWAA Museum and also to clarify the position, the right and the stake of the Benin Royal Palace and the traditional institution in the museum project? Why? I will tell you why. Because the former governor of Edo State, Obaseki, was the one who, in his own person, spearheaded the interface with the international donor into seeing that the Museum of West Africa Art becomes a reality in Edo State. It would have been expected that Okpebholo, as the new elected governor of Edo State, would have also taken the same route in interfacing with the international community himself to get the actual sanctity of the legal status of that MOWAA Museum. But he has assigned 6-man committee, even while the Edo State House of Assembly is still probing Obaseki. I'll tell you why. The reason is not far-fetched. I can tell you that Okpebholo recognized his capacity and he recognized his potential, the limit of his capacity and the limit of his potential. It is unfortunate that it is the majority of Edo people that have not recognized his capacity, the limit to his potential as the governor of Edo State, academically or even socially. And that is telling a whole lot in all that is going on in Edo State. I will tell you about Obaseki. During the second anniversary of the Omonoba Nedo, where Obaseki actually made the promise of building the Benin Royal Museum, before promising of building Benin Royal Museum, he said that Our Majesty, I just returned just last night from Netherlands, where I had interface with international community about artifacts. Then he said, I will build Benin Royal Museum. Now, that shows a long way of the capacity of Obaseki, who can move out from the shores of Edo State, Benin City, and goes out to Europe, abroad, overseas, and interface with foreign investors to come to Edo State and invest. They have shown capacity in bringing two eternal plants into Edo State. They have shown capacity and potential in bringing two refineries into Edo State. He has also shown capacity in bringing Benin Mall or ShopRite into Edo State. He has shown capacity into bringing a world-class hotel, Radissi Bla Hotel, into Edo State, and now the controversial MOWAA Museum into Edo State. That shows level of his capacity. I'm not saying this to cite Okpebholo or any other person. I'm saying this because if we must be truthful to ourselves, we must recognize that every one of us does not have the same capacity and the same potential. And this do not make us less human being or less persons in the society. No. But if we must move Edo forward, it is right about now that we begin to first recognize the capacity and potentials of individuals in the state, especially in our political landscape, across political line, irrespective of political affiliation. I can tell you without doubt, in the capacity of Okpebholo, that Okpebholo cannot move out of the shades of Edo State and go overseas and woo investors to come to Edo State and invest. I know through observations, through experience, that Okpebholo does not have that capacity enough that will go out of Edo State and bring investors that will mat up their investment in Edo State. Or he can still prove me wrong. But I'm not saying it to make him less a person or less a governor, but I'm saying it so that we recognize potentials of people. If we must collectively and collaboratively move Edo State into the state that we want and a model for other states, we must start recognizing potentials in people. I remember during the time Oshomole was campaigning for Obaseki in 2016 for Obaseki to become the governor of Edo State. Oshomole made a statement that all the sources that he recorded as being the governor of Edo State, there was a brain that was behind it, and he said that brain was Obaseki. Me as a person, I can ascertain when somebody is just speaking out of making political speech like politicians normally does. But that particular speech of Oshomole over the years, while Obaseki was the governor of Edo State, I can tell you that that was not just a political campaign speech. That was fact. Because Obaseki has been able, during his time as the governor of the state, pull off projects that is visible and is verifiable. For example, he also make fiber optic all around Edo State, and he make Edo State the first in Nigeria to go completely paperless. We will talk about civil service operations in Edo State. That also speak of capacity. So what am I trying to say in excess? There is need for us to know all of these capacity and potentials across party lines and bring these people into hands of affairs and into offices that complement their potentials and their capacity, so that we can all together move Edo to becoming the Edo of our dream. So instead of us trying to persecute our very best or some of our very best, it will either be good if we protect them and project them into making massive productivity of their potential and capacity into benefiting every single persons in Edo State instead of single individuals in the state. What am I talking about? In the person of Obaseki, for example, with the level of capacity and potential that he has, I would have expected that this administration of distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo would have worked hand in hand with him to see how they can harness into his potential, into his capacity to maximize it, to see how it can benefit the people. Because looking at Nigeria as a whole and also bringing it down to Edo State, if there is one politician that has been able to woo investors into the state, it is the person of Obaseki. I'm talking about right now, currently in our political landscape, in the whole Federation of Nigeria. It is the person of Obaseki, and all what he has done is verifiable. And we are lucky enough in Edo State to have such a man come out from Edo State. There is still more that can come out from Obaseki if only we are able to make peace, if only we are able to see that we all have the goal of making Edo State a better place, and we bring him close, and some other politicians that are just like him. We will have massive growth and massive benefit. I can tell you, and I can beat my hand on my chest, that in the person of Enogagase Obaseki, we can have 2 museums in Edo State. I can tell you, because it's only Obaseki that has been tested and tried, that if we want to really see the Benin Royal Museum built in Edo State, Obaseki can pull off that project, because we have seen what he has done. Obaseki is that politician that I believe can pull off that project. If we want to see the vision of our past Obas coming to life in Edo State, there is need for us to draw Obaseki close, forgive him and draw him close. I will tell you, the day I start to follow Obaseki, the day I start to say, there is something in this man, let me watch him closely. It was during the election campaign when both Obaseki and Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu was on a panel with other aspirants during their election. Other aspirants, when this man from Chinese TV was giving them questions to answer, they were under that panel talking about Shehu Akibaloye was asking them question. The way Obaseki was analyzing the question and answering the question that was given to him, that was the day Obaseki won my heart. That was the day he won my heart, listening to him and listening to also Pastor Osage Ize-Iyamu, who on that, go and check it, who on that panel on that day was all about attacking. Each time that Shehu Akibaloye will ask him, what and what are you going to do in this area? All he was doing, go and check that video again, was just attacking Obaseki, attacking Obaseki, attacking Obaseki. But Obaseki was giving answers. When they ask Obaseki, what are you going to do in this area? Obaseki give answers of a man that has already made a plan even before coming into the office. He has already drawn out plan, mapped out plan of what he was going to do. And he also said something that is going to create almost 200, 150,000 jobs in that place. I was like, how is this man going to do it? And I can tell you, he tried his best. He tried his best. Because this was, and immediately he became the governor of the state with the projects that he was able to pull off. Then I know I was not wrong when I started following him closely. I know I was also not wrong when each time I saw him on my TV set, I want to sit down to listen to what he had to say, because there is lot more to come out from Obaseki. There is need for us to draw Obaseki very close, very, very close. There is need for us to draw him close in order for us to be able to harness into his potential and into his capacity. This is not to bring down Okpebholo before him. There are areas where Okpebholo is also very good that Obaseki is not good. There are areas where Obaseki is very good, where Okpebholo is not good. So what do? You bring both potentials, both capacity together to achieve a maximum result, to achieve a better result. Such both potentials must complement each other for us to have a better result in Edo State. Not this one that we are doing, fighting one another, speaking against one another, trying to bring down the project of one another, and trying to fight the legacy of one another. We don't need it in Edo State. We are talking about a state where the majority of population are young youth, where the majority of population that are there, that are young youth, many of them are into Yahoo, because there is massive unemployment in the state. And the current administration, they are not making an avenue where young populists can be employed in the state. So we don't need this. All we need is somebody, maybe as Okpebholo is now the governor of Edo State, as pronounced by Supreme Court, is not the governor of Edo State. Obaseki is no longer the governor, but Obaseki, maybe now that he's in wherever he is abroad, he can be working from that area, from that angle, in benefit of Edo people. He can be working from that angle, speaking with international investors to bring them to Edo State, to see the reason why they can. And now that he is even residing there, is a bigger picture for us, that he can have time to move around and see how he can bring in more investors into Edo State, to see how more jobs can be created, to see how more infrastructures can be brought to the state, and to see how we can build the state. And again, it is very important that we note this. In building a state or a country, it does not matter where you get the people from, because I saw some interviews, some words from some APC people saying that Obaseki went to bring people from Lagos, he went to bring people from other parts of the federation in Nigeria or other countries to start working in Edo State. Okay, he went to bring people. See, when you want to build a state or you want to build a nation, it does not matter the people you use. What matters is the efficient. Is the efficient of the people you bring and how they help the state. I listened to what one pastor was talking about, and I also posted it on my YouTube page, when the pastor said, when the former governor Enoregase Obaseki was investing into human capital development, he said, guess the least people that show interest in that project. He said it was Edo people. And he made mention of a project that will cost, when you want to do it alone, personally, a project that will cost up to 1 million naira or 1.5 million naira. He said the least people that was interested was Edo people. He said while other people were coming from other parts of the federation to come and take that and seize that opportunity. He said Edo people were showing unconcern. They were not concerned about it. And I will tell you that these Edo people, some of them are the ones that are protesting around the MOWAA Museum now. Protesting over a project that is set to employ direct or indirect thousands of people in the state. I'm not even concerned about the number of people is going to even employed in the state. I'm even concerned about people that is going to train as well. Train people. as well. And also people that is going to also introduce their business to global market. And just like we saw yesterday, the international delegates that came to MOWAA Museum, though the protests and Togri and Agbero, they scattered it. You will see how massive people came all around the globe. And they all, as in, congregated in Edo, in Benin City. That alone is a joy. That alone should bring joy to where many Edo person. That alone should bring joy, that people are now coming from all over the world to situate in Edo and see what we have in Edo State. That alone is a joy. It's international recognition. But it's such a pity that many of them are going with wrong image of Edo State, with wrong image of the same Edo State that we are trying to project. In essence, what am I trying to talk about? I'm trying to talk about that distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, you have your own potential, you have your own capacity. So also all those commissioners you have, they have their own potentials, they have their own capacity, and also there are people who are also in the opposition that have their own potential, their own capacity. And if we bring all of these people together, if making Edo to become the Edo of our dream, if we are able to recognize the potentials in people, what they can pull off, and we put them in a position that complements their capacity and potential, Edo State will be a model for other states around Nigeria. Around Nigeria, no doubt about that. Because Obaseki has given that example. Obaseki have shown that good governance is possible. Obaseki have shown that we can create thousands of jobs for people. Obaseki have shown that we can not only depend on federal allocation to move Edo State, but we can also create our own wealth. And whatever we come from federal government will be an extra. Will be an extra. And these are potentials and capacity in a man. We are not all the same. We are not all equal. We all of us do not have the same academical qualification. All of us do not have the same career. All of us do not study the same course in school. And that makes us special in our own different ways. So if we can complement this in people, and the betterment of Edo State is our goal and our dream, and we complement these potentials in people, and we feast them in offices that will benefit the people, not just single individuals or personal interest, then Edo will become the Edo of our dream, and will make Edo great again, and Edo will surely rise again. Edo will surely rise again. That should be our goal. Like I said, Edo State is more important than any single individual, whether the ones that are protesting, the ones that are protecting, or the ones that are destroying. Edo is more important than any single individual in the state. And Edo will outlive everybody. So we must try to see how we can collectively and collaboratively put our, as in invest in one way or the other to see how it can be better for all. Like what was displayed yesterday, the Togri, the driving of the foreign delegates from the MOWAA Museum will not tell well for the Edo in diaspora. It will not tell well. In one way or the other, many people will be affected. Many people will be affected. And it takes capacity and potential for one to be able to address such issue. That is why I am also blaming Governor Monday Okpebholo. Because before you came in as the governor of Edo State in November 12, 2024, you have already started having issue with MOWAA and Radisson Bla Hotel. and eventually you came in as the governor of Edo State. And it took you 1 year, almost 1 year, while you are already the governor of Edo State. It was after the presentation of the Omonoba Nedo Uku Akpebholo Oba Ewari II Oba Okpebholo that you now set up 6-man committee to interface with the international donor, something you should have done before that time. So I was asking myself, what were you fighting before? What information do you have in your hand that made you to be fighting before? I was, of a truth, I was disappointed that the secretary to the Edo State government, Umar Musa, wrote and constituted 6-member committee to start interfacing with the international donor to ascertain the status of MOWAA and to clarify the right. Just look at, to clarify the right, the positions, and the stake of the Benin Royal Palace and the traditional institution of the museum project. I find that very insulting to the Edo people. I find it insulting to the Edo people. Why were you fighting before your inauguration? And why were you still fighting even while you were already inaugurated, when the fact was not in your hand? You were not having the fact. It is now you are diving to have the fact in your hand, to know the status. And that speaks volume of your own potential, that you cannot interact with foreign delegates. You cannot. The hard work that Obaseki put into all of this also going to also speak to those people, museums that was holding also to some of the Benin artifacts in their museums. It shows hard work, it shows competence, it shows capacity and potential of a person being able to talk to other museums around the world to say we need our Benin Royal, we need our Benin bronzes back in the state. It shows capacity of a person. It shows the capacity of Obaseki. All Okpebholo should also be doing now is how he himself can also move out there and talk to other museums, because the artifact of Edo State is also in other museums. It's also in other museums. All he should also be doing now is how to also talk to them to see that some of these artifacts are brought back into Edo State. It's so important. But I believe Okpebholo will not do it. You know why? The capacity is not there. The potential is not there. And this is not me saying it to cite him. This is me saying it to tell you that we all have our different potentials, our different capacity of what we can do. So if we start complementing the potential and capacity in other people, in the goal that we want to make Edo State a better place, a model for other states, then we have to start recognizing these potentials in people. And most especially in Godwin, in Obaseki, because I believe he still have more to offer to Edo people. He still has more to offer to Edo people. That is my humble submission. Please, you can write your comment under the comment section. If I am wrong, I'm not telling you that all I said I might be perfect. But if I'm wrong, write it under the comment section. And also, you can also share your mind also in the comment section. We must come together to see, more especially if you are an Edo-lite, to see how we can make Edo State better, more especially those in diaspora, how we can make Edo State better for those that are there in Edo State. Because I can tell you of a setting that many are suffering. There is massive unemployment. And this administration must start concentrating concentrating on human capital development. I rest my case. Thank you.